Okay. Hey, everybody. We are back for another week of craft room cleanup. You guys are getting me au naturel. I had a shower this morning. I didn't even dry my hair or do it or put makeup on. So, yeah, this is me. Although I did get some new frames for my glasses. So stay tuned to see a few more of those pop in and out. These are my Irish Luck ones, so I'll be wearing them for sure for a few weeks. But I just like the mix of colors, so they kind of go with everything. So I'm pretty happy about them. Yeah, it's a lucky week, I think. So craft room cleanup, you guys. This month we are in cleaning point 4 and 10. This week and next week, we're going to be tackling the desk or our office, which is separate from our crafting workspace for most of us. Following that, we're going to work on our craft room tools for the last couple of weeks of the month. I will post the events again in the craft room cleanup page because I think this is the last one that was posted. So I'll make sure I get that up to date for the next 2 months so you know which weekends we're skipping and which we're not. That way, that'll just help if you want to join us live. But if not, that's okay. I record all of them and do post the videos in the group so you can catch up. This is also the last month for your bingo card for this quarter. So make sure you finish your spring bingo card. If you haven't printed it or looked at it, just do a search in the Facebook group for bingo and you should see the current, I think it's called winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going to start the spring from March till May. Yeah. So just make sure you fill that out, find some things, and we'll get your name entered in for a prize this month. Okay, but as it comes to what we're actually focusing on, so we are focusing on the desk and office space. So just a quick question before we start. How many of you have your desk or office space in the same area as your craft room? Or is it one, like, is it separate from the craft room or is it one of the same?
Separate.
Mine is separate.
Okay, we got a couple of separates.
Separate.
Separate.
Right.
Okay, very good. So you guys all have separate rooms. I should have a separate room. Kim's shaking her head. No, no separate room. So
I
it's
have
all
a kitchen table
One space.
for my office.
fair enough. Because are you on your computer right now, Kim?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so some of us have our computers directly in our craft room. Some of us, I don't know, does everyone have a standalone desktop or do you use a laptop that you move around?
I have a desktop and a laptop, so I
Okay.
have a computer in each space.
Okay.
I have two. I have the laptop that I have right now so that I could do things with. Then I have my uh, old beast in the corner.
Okay, okay, okay. So that's just good to know with you folks. I know not everyone has two. Some of us just have one. Some of us might not even have any. Who knows? Um, I too have a laptop that I move around, and that's what I'm on right now in the craft room. I have a desire to have a desktop in a separate room on a desk, but it's kind of compiled with boxes of retired stuff at the moment. So I can't even get to it or use it since I've moved that around. So that is my goal this year is to kind of try and get that into a working space so that I can physically have office space. Because before my accident, I did end up setting up a desk in the other room. We had a good setup. It was all good, but just with everything shifting, it just disappeared. And I'm now reliant on my desktop, which I don't like because I do prefer to have both. So, knowing that, just some points to kind of really quickly tackle what that cleaning point is first of all, the goal is to have a fresh, clean desk or office space ready to get down to business when you're ready. So we just want to make sure that we have it ready to go in just a sec. I'm looking at my cleaning point. So just so you know, I have posted the little checklists in the Facebook group. So they are posted in there as of now. There's a cleaning one, there's your tidy one. So you've got a little bit of both. We're not going to go too deep into the cleaning of it today, but we're definitely going to talk about how we can just, ensure we have kind of a clutter-free area. And so the key is I would love, or if you guys are feeling on it or feeling vulnerable or open, take a picture of what your office area or desk looks like. And then, you know what, post an after picture once we're kind of all done in this area. We want to ensure that everything that we use in and around it that we need for doing our business is easily accessible. So we want to make sure that, you know, whatever we need on our desk is there. For instance, a stapler, maybe our charging cords, whatever that might look like. So just kind of take a look to make sure, like look around to make sure you have what you need and maybe take note of what needs to be there, what doesn't need to be there. If there's something sitting in that area, whether that be on the desk, on the floor, just take a look around and just do a quick pickup and put it where it belongs. Just to kind of, you know, ideally you want to put it away. You want to touch the item once. We're going to talk about this all the time, but I know sometimes time gets in the way and that might not be as easily said as done, but at least if you can put it in the area that it belongs, that'll help. As you're going through everything, you might want to take a look of what's inside your drawers. Maybe pull them out and re-put them in and only put in what you need. Because some of us, I don't know if you guys have a drawer that you throw your bills in or your envelopes or what that looks like, but sometimes a weeding out of that would be good. We want to sort and file all of our papers that might have just been piling up or maybe didn't get into the space where it needs to be. We'd likely have writing tools in and around, either in a cup or a case or a holder. Maybe they're in a drawer. You just want to tidy those up. We talked about removing things that don't belong, but one of the big things that I know I like to do, just to help make it feeling like it's a little more clean, is actually straighten your monitors. Sometimes those computer screens can kind of get out of whack or they're just a little untilt. So it's just a good time to take a look at that. And then finally, we're going to empty our garbage, recycle / shred bins, just to make sure, you know, they're kind of ready to go for the next thing. Now, this isn't about cleaning. This week is just about kind of getting organized and doing a little bit more in that area just to help us kind of seek it out. Now, I do have some questions for you that we can kind of start this off with. And that is, you know, as we think about decluttering some of the various areas and kind of putting away things that don't belong, what's kind of been an item that's been surprising to you that you've ever found while you've kind of gone through your desk or you're cleaning or decluttering your desk? Is there anything that stands out of what you might have found there that you kind of forgot about and don't even know how it got there?
I know how it all got there. It was just dumped.
No, I kind of know how it got there. It was me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me. I'm the problem.
You know what? Admitting it is the first step, you guys.
I think that's everybody's problem. We just put it where it doesn't belong because it's easier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's right there.
Well, it's all
I'll
something
get this
that needs to
later.
be dealt with, and you know, it's like data entry and stuff like that that needs to be done with it, and it just keeps piling up.
Yeah. You got to get to it, but then then something else comes along and
Yeah.
it's just another thing and another thing and another thing. And then before you know it, like my room.
Well, it's like, okay, I need 3 hours to do this stuff. And it's like, when do I ever have 3 uninterrupted hours?
Unfortunately, 3 becomes 6.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's spread out over eons.
Yeah, exactly. I think when we kicked off this year with Craft Room Cleanup, I knew I had printed like the printable, the booklet, and I couldn't find it. But when I went in the other room to go and clean it for Kira's friend to come, I was moving things around in boxes onto my desk, and I opened the desk drawer for some reason, and I found it buried underneath like a bunch of things. I was like, oh, this is why I couldn't find it, because it was in this folder, in this drawer, like had no recollection that that is what I did with it. And so, yeah, it's like trying to find a better home for things that you will use on a regular basis. But on a positive note, I found um, my little mini muffin tin though when I cleaned out that drawer, which was cool because I was using it for paper clips. But now I've pulled it out to use in my craft room for all kinds of other things. In fact, I pulled it out to use for an event that we had at Christmas time. But that was a win because I forgot I had it. Okay.
Crafting supplies,
Yeah.
not regular
Exactly.
office stuff.
Now, as we're talking about stuff around, like we're talking about physical things, right? But let's not forget that our desktops have digital things that is also clutter. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I am going to kind of highlight maybe for us to take a look at our actual desktops, not all the files, but just when you open up your computer and you turn on your screen, there's all these little things. We're not going to dive deep into it now, but I thought I've started a printable for you guys to go through a digital decluttering of kind of a computer on the workspace. I know that's diving a little deeper into our office class, our office slash desk space, but I kind of thought it might be helpful if we ever have time to kind of get to the digital side of things. Because over the years, like I have taken so many courses in the last 35 years regarding digital clutter and like how to maintain things, how to build desktops. But do you think I like follow all the principles and everything? No, not at all. I have to say my desk or my work computer is way better. Like I've managed to keep it under control, but my home one, maybe not so much. But I'll maybe share a couple of tips and tricks in our group, kind of as it relates to digital clutter. So stay tuned for that. We're not going to dive deep today, but I will do up a checklist for you guys to add to your printable as a way to kind of take a look at your digital side of things. So when it comes to organizing for efficiency, so if you kind of think about the purpose of our office space or a desk space, it's actually for productivity, right? And so keeping it clean and tidy is actually important if we are trying to use it for productivity. Because what tends to happen is, I know for myself, I'll just add piles and piles to my desk, which means there's no room for me to sit down when I need to go and pull out maybe some tax forms to go through. And then I'm like, I just don't want to do it because like there's no space. And I've used this excuse a million times. Oh, can't do it because I need space to spread out and everything's got piles. I got to clean the piles first. And then it never happens, and everything just kind of like gets like I procrastinate really, all because it's not ready to go. So, anyways, just kind of think about the different things that you do in and around your desk and office space because some people might just use a desk and kind of use that for business, but some people might have it set up to be like a reading nook. Does anyone have a reading nook in their office? Does anyone go sit in there and read?
Well, my homework now, but
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
But I mean, that's still, using that space for something. And some people have offices, they might have like a little table where they meet with people. People might come over and maybe they craft with you, or maybe you sit there and go on your computer. I'm thinking Chantel and all her community league business. Do you have ever people at your house, or do you always just go meet them at the hall?
Oh no, I don't have to do that anymore. So
Okay, good.
I never had people at my house. No, not about that.
Okay,
But I do have one of my clients. He does occasionally come here.
okay.
So yeah, it's a horrible mess, but
Cool. But we'll slowly work on it. And the more that we can like work at it a little bit, even if it's every day, it'll just help us with maintaining focus and efficiency on whatever it is that we're trying to use that space for. Now, of course, there's always storage. I don't know how many of you guys have cupboards or cabinets that are matchy to your desk. Does anyone have like not just a desk, but you have all the extras, filing cabinets,
I
different?
do. I have a So this desk used to be a full desk with 2 drawers on each side, but we took it apart to make it a standing desk, and then I just took the 2 drawer boxes and put another like piece of wood on top of that.
Perfect.
So it's like a separate little filing cabinet.
Nice.
And then I also have another metal filing cabinet, which is ugly, but
I feel like if you could put your desk up right now, you'd look like you're surfing in the water.
I don't know if it would make a difference.
Anyways, that's awesome. If you can have a standing desk, I've looked at a few of them.
Then I have to stand up. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, looks like
You're like, I don't want to stand right now.
it's at the same level once it goes all the way up and I stand up. But yeah.
That's awesome. And so, like, aside from files or maybe like record keeping, maintenance, that type of thing that you keep in your file drawers, like, what else do you use? Like, what else do you store in your desk or office area?
Well, mine, I have like kitchen cabinets is what I have from my flood experience. So I have my two, like I have my pot drawers, which I hold my stamps in, which I have two of those. Then I have two of the, regular little drawers at the top. So one is basically strictly like pens, tape, tape runner, extra things, gum, like just office type things like pins and that. And I use those little styrofoam things that came with the our color system, to keep our ink pads and stuff, all that foam. These are all these little shapes, and that's what I put inside my drawer. So each little shape has a certain thing in it. So like,
Hmm.
and it fit really well in my drawers. And then I have the other one, which I put stuff that I need, but it's not like every day need, like my hole punch, all the different hole punches in my crocodile, my staplers and the staples that match them, my Stampin' Up jig, and I can't remember what this be, but when we used to do this to do the splatter where you used
Air
to,
spritzer,
so I
yeah.
have that, and I put my silicone sheet in there. It's like just like sort of like a mishmash of crappy stuff, but you don't really use all the time, but you kind of need. And it's in arm's reach. So if I need a hole punch, if I need something really quick, it's right there. And the kids know where the stapler is. So it always goes back there. And then I have three drawers on this side. And one is strictly just like extra inks that are new. And a couple little ink spots that I like to keep on hand. Um, just like little things. And then the other was another drawer is strictly like my embossing powders, the trays, my watercolor pencils, crayons, um, my blender pens, and my chalks. Like all that is in that drawer. Then I have, I guess, junk drawer, but not really junk drawer. My last drawer is where I put my glitter that's not Stampin' Up, but glitter's glitter. Um, I put like um, post-it notes, like just crappy things that I may pull out later to do. Like my hot glue is in there, my hot glue guns are in there. Um, oh, what else is in there? Just odds and ends of sort of like an office warehouse type drawer. Like if I need something extra that I run out, I'm going to go to that drawer to go get it and stuff like that. And then the other drawers I have is those IKEA ones that are you can stack them. They come in black and white, and that's where I have like my glitter paper, um, other odds and ends like doilies, stuff that's retired from Stepping Up, but I'm not going to get rid of it. My wire, my cutting blades, and my other cutting devices, and my what do you call it? Your envelope boards, and we had all those other things that we have. I have that all in a drawer. Because they're still good. I'm going to use them further down the road. Just because maybe they don't sell them anywhere doesn't mean I'm not going to use them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have like my scrapbooking stuff is in there, like my albums that I've started but haven't really finished. I keep stuff from my kids, their memory things, so that when I do go back to scrapbooking, like don't know when that's happening, I know where to find the stuff I may want to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And those are underneath the stair because I don't have enough space over here to put that. But that might change once I move out her desk. She doesn't crap with me down here anymore.
Yeah.
So her desk might move up to her room for uni. So I might move those out and put them in that spot. So
Okay.
things might change in the future, but I don't know yet. And then the other thing I have for like filing cabinets was from my old desk setup that I had, like those brown office desks that have the file drawer that goes like so like as a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I rescued that part and I kept that part because I still need it to hold my paper and I need it for taxes and I need it for other household things. And that's underneath the stairs too. So like that's like I could use probably another one of those or a bigger one or a different designed one. But for now that's what I have to work with. So that's what I got. Yeah, and that's basically the only thing. And then of course I have my island, which is my newest item, which so far is still working really well for my 12 by 12s. The other side maybe needs a little upkeep, but my 12 by 12 are still good. And as for your comment about like, do you have a space for people to come? I really don't know that I have this year, but what I do have on the other side, which no one ever sees, is my so-called family room in the basement. And I have a fold-up table, which I tuck underneath my stairs because that's what I used to have here, was that little fold-up table. So if or whatever, I do have people that want to come, I would just have it on the other side because really it's not that far to walk back and forth to get whatever you need. And that place is, and on the other side of me is more space for people to sit in.
Okay,
So I
okay.
kind of, but I don't.
Hey, Cheryl.
What I did is, so I have an actual desk at that I work on in my craft room. And so I took one of the drawers because my paper isn't close to me. It's back on one of the IKEA, whatever it is, calyx. I have to go walk to it, right? So I took one drawer and put all my whites, my black, all the ones that I use a lot of, and put it in there. Because the 8.5 by 11 fits, right? Because it's a file drawer. So it's right beside me when I need it. And those are the ones I grab for the most. I need a piece of white to do, a scrap of white or whatever. So it works really well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Does anyone keep like I find I have an overabundance of office supplies, like maybe way too many sticky notes, like the air cleaner, spritzer things, staple boxes, like all kinds of supplies. So that's the other thing you'll find in my desk.
I keep that in the calyx someplace else where I have to get up to
A
go.
small drawer that has the overflow in it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, mine's in a drawer separate from my office, which I need to combine and make it all a little more easier. I even think of my husband's office. We have two different office spaces, and like what he keeps versus what I keep, night and day different. Like, I don't know if you guys have wires and extra cords and clamps and clips.
Oh, he's got
It has
two
a
of
whole
Cheryl's
IKEA
plant
bin
baskets
full of that stuff.
full of wiring and stuff.
In plant baskets. That's a
Oh,
good
those crates, that Cheryl was selling at one point.
Those
idea.
black crates.
Got two of those full of wires and all kinds of junk like that.
Wow. It's
We
a
have
guy.
lots of them if anybody ever wants any.
Hey,
She has more if you need
We
them.
still have lots if anybody wants.
They're great for
stacking
storage.
stuff in. Yeah, even in the garage and putting stuff in them and stacking them up. They're fantastic.
Very good. Okay. And then Kim, you kind of touched on this too, is about tackling the junk drawer. Every office has one. I'm sorry, I don't like, there's a stat you'll see that's posting tomorrow in our group about a little history about the junk drawer, but it's estimated based on an American study that happened in 2024 that Canadians, 95% of Canadians have a junk drawer. So let's see if that stat is right. Who here has a junk drawer in their office? Okay, but two of you don't. So I don't know. That stat's like not close.
No, I do.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
No. Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, then see, that stat is right.
And
So
Chantel's gotta have one.
yeah, and it doesn't have to be chaotic. It can be organized. In fact, with that post I'm doing tomorrow, I'm sharing a pin. I found on Pinterest this person who has a brilliant organization for a desk drawer when it comes to organizing her pens, but all the little things, like I think about being in a craft room, I have little things like mini binder rings, thumbtacks, all these little things. And I know my one drawer that used to never be a junk drawer, this literally has only happened in the last 5 years. So I don't know if it's my brain has changed since COVID or what's happened, but now this thing that used to always be perfect is not ever. And so when I go through it, there's a lot of little things that just get dropped in there that I think I'm going to try this organization system. I just need to find the right little clear containers to kind of help build out my junk drawer to make it a little more appealing when I open the drawer, but also where I can easily find those little things when I'm looking for them, right? So what about your junk
amazing plastic little containers?
You have some?
No, I don't have any, but I was looking on Temu for some stuff to organize. And they have lots of containers on there and cheap.
I know. I don't buy from there because they steal, they copyright and they steal. They're the people
I just got these little ones from IKEA.
Oh yeah, those are super cute. I have lots of those too.
Yeah,
they have my little blades in them, but
oh, that's perfect.
They're perfect.
Yeah.
Like 25 cents or something.
Oh my gosh.
And they come in like 3 or 4 different sizes as well. So you can get like larger ones as well.
It might be time to take a road trip to IKEA because I haven't looked at their organization stuff in quite a few years, not since we were like revamping the Calyx with the paper shelves. I think you got us on that, Shanna.
I think so. Yep. I influenced you all.
Oh. So what do you think, like kind of knowing the state of your office space, what do you think the biggest challenge is going to be to tackle it?
Actually doing the work so I can put the paper away.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Paper is my downfall. Like I'm really good at putting like my inks, my pens, my like that. Well, first of all, it's like literally right in front of me, so it can't take too long. And I'm good at putting my dyes and all that stuff away. But it's the paper, like, cause I'm okay. I need this for this, and then I throw it off to the side, and then I need this, and then I got to go back, and it's like, and then that mountain just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the landslides all over the place. That and ribbon to put back, and then it's like that's like a whole day in itself just to do that.
My trick is that I have a little wire basket that says to file on it, and it sits on top of my printer in my office area. So I just file everything in that, and I do billing twice a month. So basically, on the 15th and the 30th or 31st, I sit down and I empty out. Everything gets filed and put away and stuff like that. So twice a month, I'm clearing out that bin as much as I can, unless it's something like I need to look at in the future. But
I think the tip I'm hearing there, Shanna, is to put a dedicated time in your calendars to address some of that paper clutter. And maybe maybe it's more than just once a month, but if you're someone who's never done it, maybe even if you just try once a month, you can always increase that once you get a good habit.
yep.
Yeah, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I had good habits like that. I had it in my calendar, but you know what? When life changed, so did like keeping up with that. I even was decluttering my recipe boxes. Like it was like so intense, the paper clutter that I tackled. And now it's like, so I need to get back to it. I need to bring back those good habits.
Yeah, I just find that's a good system for me.
Yeah. And that's just
I
it, right?
sit
You
and
have
do
to
this.
find what works for you, like where you're going to see it, when you'll actually tackle it, because obviously what we're doing right now isn't working. And so we have to find something completely different in order to make it work, right? But what is that?
Yeah.
I actually had a friend when it came to bills. Her and her husband had a system. They actually had their desks back to back with each other, which I thought was so cute. And they would like once or twice a month sit down. But when a bill came in, the husband's job, or like my friend, she would like open it, put the bill on his desk. He would scan it and put it in, and then she would shred it. Like it somehow like went back and forth, but he paid it, like digitalized it. There was no sense to keep it, so they shredded it to kind of avoid having all of this extra clutter that you didn't need. Didn't want to get rid of the bill because there was also another friend I had that when they were selling their house, it was hard to sell because people were wanting the bill, like wanting like copies of their bills over the past 2 years, and they just never kept them. And so they kind of lost a sale to one of them because one of like they really wanted to know the price. So based on that, I've never thrown them away just in case.
That part, like, I'm weird that way because like with the household stuff, like bills and stuff like that, when they come in, I open it, the envelopes go in recycling. I put it so on it. We call it the pin, and it's like a thing that goes on our fridge. It's a magnet pin, and I grew up with the pin from grocery store shopping and stuff like that way back in Saskatchewan. It was a thing. And so then when Rob comes in, it's like, okay, let's look at the bill. He knows where to go find it, number one. He'll rummage through it and do what he does. And then he puts it in a pile. It's like, okay, this is for shred. Because I have the shredder down here in my office right underneath where I sit here. So it's got a dual purpose. It helps me with my feet because I'm short. And this counter is kind of tall for me. So it helps me with putting my feet up a little bit more comfortably. And it's right there and I shred it. And then I can take it out for recycling and whatever quite easily. So, and then I can file the stuff away too if it needs to be filed. So this kind of works that way. So it's weird. That part I'm very good at keeping maintained and organized and done. But when I get here, it's a totally different ball game, and I don't know why it's different. Because even upstairs we have a junk drawer upstairs, so actually I have two, and then that's the household junk drawer. And what I find the problem with that one, because I've organized it umpteen times in my life, but the problem is I'm the only one that will put things the way they're supposed to go. Everybody else in my house doesn't care, and then within like a week or a month, it's like, and it's then like here I go, gotta clean it all out again, gotta reorganize, go through all the pens to see if they work, because no one bothers to throw away a pen that doesn't work. And I don't know what it is, but my luck is no matter what I'm doing or how I will grab a pen and it's the one that never works every time.
And you're the one throwing it in the garbage.
What you have to do is get everything online, then you don't have to worry about going through the bills. You just
Yeah,
they
I don't
come
have
in
any of that
online and
anymore.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
everything
easier.
online now. So
I
Yeah,
used
everything's
to,
online to me. I don't get paper bills anymore, very seldom. I don't get much mail anymore.
I
Wow.
used to, but then things changed and stuff when Rob went to different banks, and we just haven't changed it back to being a non-paper bill. So I'm like, well, that's what I got. That's what I deal with. It keeps him. I think paper bill keeps him more on track because he can forget things and kind of out of sight is out of mind, so to speak. So I think the paper for him is better.
Yeah, it's his system. Yeah. Everybody's different.
Exactly. Everyone's brain works a little differently, right?
Mhm.
So it's just really figuring out how to make it work for you. Okay, so we also talked about that space kind of being that productive space for you. It needs to be enjoyable. So it also has to reflect your personality. Do you guys like where your work or your desk is or your office? Do you have like a personal touch to it? Do you have it decorated? Okay. Is there family photos around?
Mhm.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
You will never find that with me. My mom was not a believer in family photos other than in a photo album.
really, that's sad.
See, but I like taking photos, so photos to me are really important and stuff, and especially when they're little, because they're little for such a short period of time. It's just like they're just like little toes and little cheeks. It's just like how can you not keep them around you?
Oh, they're so cute, right?
So I have a huge picture of Mackenzie at a professional photo done when she was 5 months old, and her little angel wings and little halo with roses. I have her over there too. Then I have my uh, painting that I did for uh, Christmas time gift. Then I also have pictures around me from places I've been. Like
Nice.
like my mom got me a lighthouse picture from when I sent them down east to Halifax, and then when mom and dad and I went to BC, I got the one off of Victoria, so I got the two lighthouses. I have I'm very into art. I love pictures. I have pictures that my kids did when they were little. We did the online painting thing one night, and then over here, though no one can see it, is my shelves. And well, you'll know Trisha because we all got our picture done with that cartoonist at that
Oh,
one.
I wasn't there at that one, I don't
Wait,
think.
was it at that one?
No.
So I have that picture up there, and then I have things that you've given me and other people have given me. Um, and of course, I always have my kids' baby pictures and their current picture up to
Oh,
date.
look at Chantel's boys running in the water. I love
That's my
that.
favorite, absolute favorite picture of them.
It's a beautiful picture. Did Geo capture it?
Yeah. I
Oh,
don't know if it was Gio or me. It was our first trip to Mexico. And
I love it.
yeah, I can't remember. I think I might have taken that. I don't know. It's but yeah, it was just my favorite picture.
Yeah, so
So I have several of them actually around the house. There's one upstairs too. A bigger one.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so just kind of like take a look at, the decorations in and around because you can always adjust, add, remove whatever you need to make the space feel like your own, but also remember not to overwhelm your space so it doesn't impact your productivity while you're there. Another main piece to kind of consider is the lighting. Is it a well-lit space? Is it natural lighting? So just kind of consider some of that so that you don't have eye strain. I mean, we want to protect our eyes as much as possible. I feel like the older I get, the more in tune I am to that. Like, no, turn on the lights. I need lights on while I'm reading. I didn't care before. I care now. Oh,
My lighting has stayed the same from when we had it as our basement and office. So, and I'm not one for dark basements. So when we did our thing, I was very. First, my husband's an electrical engineer, so like believe me, I got lots of lights, lots of lights, and lots of switches and everything else.
good. That's good. Everyone else is content with their lighting. Has anyone like switched it to like all those LED bulbs or?
Yeah, when we redid our basement, ours is all LED now.
Yeah, and we have the Google controlled ones. I get to turn it off. I can say from upstairs, turn off the basement light.
That's nice.
Well, the other thing I was saying about lighting, if you're just doing it for yourself for crafting, then you can do what's comfortable for you. But if you're trying to do something like for doing videos, then I would say you would have to look into a little bit better lighting, like side lighting, and that because you want this space here that you're showing them to be bright, and so they can see it and not shadowy. That's why I think it depends what you want to do with your lighting. So in that regard, you might end up having, set up that you could take down and put away and bring back up when you're doing it, or you might just have it set up permanently. But that's only if you're that type of thing.
Kim, I might need you to come help me. I don't know if you guys notice my videos, but they drive me insane because the light flickers in them. And I don't understand. My lights aren't flickering here, but just the way it comes down, it flickers. And it drives me insane. So I know I need better lighting. I just don't want to invest in all of that. But I'm going to have to if I want better
I
videos.
should give you my photography lights to try.
Ooh, I would love
They're just
that.
on stands. They're like bar lights. That's what I used to use.
I did buy a bar light, but it didn't work. It still created too many shadows. But I would love to try it just to see because I need to
I had
find
one on each side, so
Do you have the ones that are
that
like
might
on
be
the
the
sides?
difference.
what's
You
that?
get the ones that sit on the sides. So they're
Mine
focused.
sit on like poles, but they're the long sort of strip lights, so I could bring them right over, so it kind of eliminated the shadows. But I can give them to you. You can try it out, see what happens.
Yeah, we'll give it a try. Thanks. Okay, the last thing about personalizing the space, though, is really making sure you have comfortable seating so that when you're sitting at your space, you're not discomfort, you're not getting back pains. I mean, if you have a sit stand desk, that's even better. But I've seen a lot of people go to these gaming chairs. Does anyone have a gaming chair? It's got the high back with the neck and head support. It's like intense, but they look pretty comfy.
Well, yeah, but that's because they're sitting back like
Yeah.
this. They
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
to like sit forward so they can see properly with the.
And plus, with my setup being that I'm like at a kitchen counter, that chair would not work. That's because we thought my office chair would work, but then I'm like way like underneath the thing, so no. So I've tried two different chairs. One is like a bar stool type, like what Brenda has in her room. If anyone's been in Brenda's craft room, they're exactly the same. But I find that because I turn and I twist and I move, I end up wrecking the chairs.
Did you
So I
try a
brought,
drafting chair?
pardon?
Did you try a drafting chair?
I have my wooden stool now. So
Oh,
it's like metal legs and a wood top. So that's me. I like it because it's the right height. I'm not too tight with my legs and everything. And it has a bar that I can put my feet on because, like I said, I'm short. So I can get that just comfort level of there. But because I broke my tailbone, I have problems sitting for a long period of time. So then I'll sometimes just move it off to the side and I'll just stand.
yeah, because when I get mine, it's going to be counter height, the same thing. And I've already decided I'm going to buy like a drafting chair because they have wheels, they turn, and they have the foot rung because they go higher because drafting tables are higher, right? And so that's what I'm going to get.
Hey, Chantel, good tip. That is what I will try for here. Maybe that's what I need for this craft space, and it'll help me proper posture, sit up. I can still have my feet then. Oh,
Mhm.
good idea, Chantel.
Where did you get the chair from?
Well, you can get them from any office supply store. So
Yeah, I thought maybe it's a special place that you go.
nope, you can get them at Staples, whatever.
Oh, good to know.
Because yeah, I have the same problem with this desk actually. When it's down as low as it can go, my regular office chair is still not high enough.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure it's because the stand-up legs don't let it go as low as it normally would if it was just the desk by itself. And so I have my office chair is all the way as high as it can go, and it's still not quite high enough. So it's not a very good ergonomic situation when I'm sitting down, but
So hurry up and get your new chair. That's the moral of the story.
yeah.
Okay. Well, as we kind of wrap this up, it's about the maintaining of the tidy office, which I know can be hard, as we all talked about, as we use it as dumping grounds. But really the key is to try and have a daily cleanup. Like even if you just spend a few minutes at the end of each day, putting some items back in their spot, to kind of prevent that. And if you had that basket, like Shanna spoke about, that might be easier for those things that have to wait a little bit. I know it's easier said than done because it truly is all about the daily practice and setting good habits. But um, I know I've tried and I'll continue to go back and try, but I know it'll go back to the same old, same old. So I do have to find a different system. Weekly organization time can be that dedicated time. So Saturdays, when we have our weekly cleanup, maybe just not book anything for an hour afterwards. And then that way you'll make you motivated to kind of just at least tackle an hour every week. That might help with some of that. And then also, like, because, there's only so much organizing and cleaning you can do, but maybe then you can use that time to kind of compile some of those pending tasks that need to get done. And then the key is stay consistent. So consistency is the key to everything. And so again, as we try and build these habits, hopefully we can enjoy a clutter-free office space more often. So does anyone have like, Shanna, you kind of mentioned how you did that little basket, but is there any strategies you guys use to try and help you stay more consistent to kind of, keep that space tidy the way you need it? Or maybe are you going to dedicate certain days to try and tackle it?
Yes, I'm going to do that now.
I try to clean up.
Put it in my calendar.
Yeah, there you go. Make sure you put a reminder in there too, though.
Oh yeah, everything I put in my calendar has reminders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to clean up a project when I'm done with it before I start a new one.
Good.
But I still have lots piled off to, sometimes they just get piled to the side, but I try to keep the desk as clean as I can.
Yeah.
So put it away after each project. So, and it doesn't matter whether it's office or crafting, I try to do that.
Very good. Very good.
Doesn't always work.
And no matter what, though, like whatever you're trying to do, it shouldn't make you feel miserable or not want to do it. You have to try and like find a way to make it happy and work for you. Again, it's different for every single person, but you'll try it. It'll either work or it won't work. And then you just shift, pivot, try something new. And hopefully we can get ideas from different folks. And feel free, like if you're struggling with something, put a comment in our Facebook group because I'm sure someone might have an idea or a suggestion. We don't want to just give advice, but if you ask for it, people are more than willing to kind of share it, I'm sure.
I use the same system actually over in where I actually like craft because I'm always working ahead too. They don't make these bins at IKEA anymore, but the baskets I get from the dollar store you can use. Each like week project has a bin. So the stamp sets and everything that I'm going to use for that week or whatever goes in it. I have like a 4 cubby system here beside me and they all go in there and then I just pull it out. And so then when I'm done working on it, it'll either all go back in the bin or I'll put it away depending if I'm finished or not. And then I just pull out the next basket and start working on that.
That's ridiculously organized, Shannon.
It is way too much, Shane.
I used to work as a professional organizer, so it's kind of just habit that I'm just over organized. But that's another tip is I have just like a cubby drawer that has those little baskets in it. And I also have a drawer behind me that if I'm working on like 12 by 12 or something, because my little cubbies are only so big, that they'll just go in that empty drawer. And those are kind of like projects I'm in the middle of working on that I can pull and put on my desk. So that's kind of my junk drawer of when I have to clear off my table. It goes into that drawer and then I kind of just sort through it.
Yeah, that works for you. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to stop the video here unless anyone has any more questions kind of relating to the desk and office cleanup or tidy. Okay. Thank you.